Hello there everybody, this is Alex from Hardcore Guides, bringing you my guide for Splatterhouse, Brutal Difficulty, No Upgrade Run. Today we are doing Phase 5, entitled The Corpse That Wouldn't Die? The Corpse That Couldn't Die? Corpse That Wouldn't Die, that's what it was, okay. Give me 1 second here. I was actually recording this, I think, oh lord, a few days ago, I believe, and then, oh yeah, these are just showing you guys that I have these particular stuff that you get throughout the game. These are not upgrades, so, you know, I just don't want anybody thinking that they are, because I feel like there are people out there that would be that specific about it, so I'm just making sure that people know that you can do this without actually physically paying for the upgrades. So, again, these are things that you unlock. I had to go double check to make sure that even I was on the right side here with this type of thing, so, yeah. I recorded this, I think, a couple of days ago, and then for some reason, Audacity stopped at, like, the very end of it, and I just wasn't having it, so I just quit and did some other things for a while. And it's been a weekend, I guess. It is now currently, I believe, Saturday. It is the April 29th of 2023, and that's when I'm doing this recording. I don't know, I kind of like doing these Captain Log things every once in a while, just to kind of keep up with people to see, like, you know, where I'm at, or you know, where these videos are getting, you know, published at and what have you. And most of my majority of things that I can think of right now that happened was I just, you know, bought more games and then started playing through them and did a lot of hanging out stuff, did some Mario Party stuff and played some more fighting games with peeps. And what else? Finished Conquer. I finished that on my Let's Play channel. So that's all finally, you know, said and done, thankfully. That one was painful to get through because it just was acting up a lot. The game was being janky, and even more so than like what Splatterhouse sometimes gets to be. I would say Conquer is just even a tad bit more janky than even like Ninja Gaiden Yaiba, for example. Because out of most of everything janky in Yaiba, I would argue that the final boss is probably the worst of it. And Conquer, at least, seems to have a lot of... I say at least, but Conquer seems to have like a lot of points that just end up being really, really obnoxious for some strange reason. So, hey, at least that's done with. Whatever my next Let's Play will be, I don't know. But right now, my plan is to take a break on that channel. I don't know if I'm going to come back to it for a while, so it might be a few months before I start doing like another Let's Play. Just because I'm just getting kind of tired of them sometimes. Sometimes I want to do them, sometimes I don't. You know, it is how it is. And for a bit there, I was getting kind of tired of doing this for a second too, because what's funny is I now have more than enough time to finish these, but at the same time, I just, you know, once Audacity got screwed up, I kind of lost motivation to do it. And here I am just trying to come back to finish all this. Something I do want to say real quick, though, is I might honestly just say screw it and take that elongated break before I get to Chains of Olympus. And I know I kept saying, like, oh, I'll do it, and I'll finish Chains, and then I'll do... I keep choking on things. I know I said I was going to finish, you know, Chains of Olympus, but this is a point in time where I feel like I should probably just finish Splatterhouse and then take the break and then come back with Chains of Olympus instead, because I feel like that would be the better choice. If not that, then something else. So, I know I say a lot of things, but I do change my mind a lot, and I will give you guys an update, and I will post this on the community tab over on Hardcore Guides on the main channel, so that way people that, you know, don't watch these videos particularly, at least you can see me, you know, directly telling you, like, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm actually going to take my break earlier than I expected. So, I need, like, a month or maybe even 2 off, because I just need to, you know, I need to clean out, I guess you could say. I don't know how you'd phrase that better, but, you know, I need to de-stress, I guess. And all this work on videos constantly is just finally getting to me, and it's funny because now I have the time off to finally finish all these, but, and even then, still, I could have just, if I wanted to, just finished God of War in maybe a day or two, and then finished all the editing and commentary, you know, within the week. but I'm gonna choose not to. I'm actually gonna choose the other ladder of things that I'd rather just be doing, which of course is just, you know, working on drawings and stuff and trying to get better. So that's what I need to do. And I assume most likely everybody, of course, would understand that. I don't really ever have any problems with, you know, comments too much on Hardcore. Sometimes you get those that are kind of a little weird, or sometimes you get like dislikes for some reason and various things. But for the most part, most everybody on Hardcore tends to kind of understand, especially the, you know, the main audience that actually ends up watching a lot of these. So yeah, and you know, I do of course have to kind of apologize for not having this be as consistent and as I was hoping. But to be fair, I kind of got distracted, and then I ended up saying, all right, I'm just gonna go do Conquer and finish that. You know, finish that off, get that over with, and then on top of that, I just, you know, it was my birthday week, so I kind of wanted to do other things outside of just, of course, you know, working on stuff. But now I'm pretty much, for the most part, relatively free to kind of finish these finally, and looking forward to finally finishing them. And the lucky part is that a lot of these videos are at least a good solid, you know, 20 minutes to about the longest I could think of, maybe probably even like 40 minutes. And that's kind of a lot of the reason why I like these games, because I potentially like these games when they're kind of done in short bursts, because I feel like it's much easier to kind of get through a game like this, that, you know, especially when they're divided into chapters and stuff, and you don't have to spend all your focus on going through multiple levels at once. But then it, you know, but with something like this, you can kind of go through it, you know, chapter by chapter, and then just be like, okay, I'm done for the day, and then just stop recording. And then these chapters don't even last that long, and even then still, like, it would probably take me maybe an hour tops to finish a recording of Splatterhouse, only just to drop it down to 30 minutes. But that's, of course, including, like, deaths and stuff. You know, that's including, like, me dying and then having to edit that stuff down and trim it down. But that hasn't really happened too much. I've actually gotten quite better at Splatterhouse, at least until we get to chapter 6 and 7, I think, is when I start to kind of folly a little bit, because enemies start to become a little bit more irritating to deal with, especially, I think, in chapter 7. Or is it chapter 8, Reflections in Blood? I think chapter 8 is. I forget what chapter 6 was. Beast of the Human Heart, and then after that, Scream Park, and then Reflections, and then the Ruined something. Oh, man, there's a lot more to come for this, but we'll get through it. I'll edit and, you know, as fast as I potentially can, and then finish all these and get them all done, get them all out to you guys, so that way you can at least have something a little bit more interesting on this channel to kind of watch. Because, you know, at this point, this is pretty much all we have going on. There's not a lot of other extra, like, out there specific, you know, playthroughs I can do right now. Granted, it's not that I couldn't, you know, potentially do some myself, but I don't know. You know, just gotta, you know, can't do these too often, because then it'll start to kind of soil things down a little bit, you know. So yeah. But I'm trying to think what happens here. In terms of this chapter specifically, I'm trying to remember all the things that do happen. I do know that there is the boss that's a worm, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the boss of the stage. And I ran back here thinking that the thing was going to fall down, but I was sadly mistaken. And these doors, I believe, this might be the first appearance of these specific doors, right? Maybe? Possibly? I actually don't know. To be honest with you, I don't remember. But yeah, this chapter is not a favorite of mine, only because of just how irritating it is to just do these puzzles sometimes. Because there's, like, you know, that puzzle back there, which was just basically, you know, kill all the enemies, kick them inside the... Well, basically it was just a blood puzzle, like, just get all the blood and then there you go. But then there's going to be another section coming up later, like, not that far from now, that's essentially going to require us to use heads. And then we're going to have to, of course, kill said enemies to get heads and what have you. So, yeah. Man, oh man. I know, it's kind of sad when you're kind of running out of commentary already, when we're only, like, a good like halfway-ish through this video, but that's just kind of showing how much I'm kind of just wanting these to eventually be finished and just get them out and get them done. Granted, quality over quantity, so that's how it is. If anything, maybe I could do this. Maybe instead of just like hard focusing, but then again, if I don't hard focus, then I'm just gonna continue to have this in the back of my mind and I'm gonna want to do them. But if I could maybe shift my focus to something else, I could probably just do that instead and just not worry about these videos. Because, like, let's be honest, if you're not having fun with making content, if you're not having fun with the thing that you're doing, or it's not exactly as exciting as it was maybe, you know, a few chapters before. Now, granted, you could also say, like, well, maybe it's the chapter that's annoying. I mean, this is my second time recording this damn thing. And there's another case of, like, well, maybe it's because you're not in the commentary mood yet, you know? Could be a bunch of other things that might imply me not wanting to do this video specifically right now. And I'll get it done. I'll get it done. Don't worry. You know, there's tons of things that probably, you know, make me kind of not want to do this and not want to engage in commentary right now. It could also just be because I did a whole Let's Play today. I did like 3 episodes of recording today. And man, that was a very rage-inducing game, I can tell you that. And it's just surprising, too, considering the fact that, like, out of all the games that you think would be a bit easier than what they, you know, kind of end up being, I kind of assumed for a while that Conquer would be a lot easier than I remembered it being. But, no, it turned out to be pretty damn hard. And speaking of hard, something else I recently bought as well, because I've been trying to go back and just get some games from, you know, the Xbox side of things and trying to catch up on games that I would want on that particular console. And I bought Blinks, the Time Sweeper, and played it for the first time today, ever. Like, this was my first exposure to, well, I mean, I've seen it before, but it was always recommended to me, you know. My friend always said, you know, it's a pretty good game. He kind of grew up with it, I guess, and I decided to say, screw it. I see it on there. Let's give it a shot. It's like $10, I think, or something like that, so all right, give it a shot, and then I thoroughly enjoy it. I will say, though, it is definitely a little bit of a hard platformer, that's for sure, but for the most part, I still think it's a pretty damn good, decent platformer, all things considered. So it's got some nice mechanics and what have you, and a really nice, neat concept, too, honestly. Yeah, from this point on, with these little assholes, I think either I'm missing a head or I need to kill the rest of them. I actually couldn't think of it. I don't even think you even needed the head anyway for this. I think you just have to kill all of them. And I think the head only gives you access to that door with the bookworms and potential piece of a picture. Because it's been a while since I've actually gone through this game and tried to re-100% it or anything like that. Which I'm kind of curious. What did I 100%, like, what account did I use 100% on when I did this for the Let's Play? Because I think this is still the same account that I did my Let's Play of this a long time ago. Hell, this may even very well still be the same account that I've used for my Splatterhouse guide 7 years ago, as it says right there. Yeah, like, literally, yeah, I'm using them for names of these phases because I kind of forgot. That's one way to use your own tools to your advantage, I guess you could say. Actually, is he Worm coming up next? Hang on, I'm gonna have to click. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we're about done. All right, that wasn't too bad. It's just that I don't really like this chapter that much. I think that's part of it. I think another part of it is I'm just kind of losing motivation right now, and it takes a bit to kind of get motivation back. But if anything, I could at least maybe try to record the next episode with this, so that way I can just start rendering these out and get them done. And then just move on and do some other stuff for today, because I still got plenty of time. I gotta go shopping, too, so I can go get some food. But anyway, this is, I forget what it's called. I think it's a gore worm, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be getting that mixed up with Dante's Inferno enemy-type names. But I think those things are called glutton worms. So, I think it's called the gore worm, but I don't remember. But yeah, if you stay back far enough, the the tongue whip can be pretty much avoided, and whenever it slams its head, it slams it like maybe 2-3 times, and then eventually just kind of gives up and just sits there for a bit. And the thing is that I like to use to my advantage is whenever it slams its head, I like to use like splatter or smash, preferably smash rather than slash. I feel like slash doesn't really get the job done, and I feel like smash just has potentially either more damage or seemingly just more of like a hitbox to it that allows me to actually hurt the said enemy. That attack right there only happens when you get too close to it, so you probably will never really see it that much if you're trying to keep your distance and play like I am. Now, later on in this game, there's going to be like a fight between 2 of them at once, and that's going to suck, but, you know, we'll get to that when we get there. And now that we have the room, it makes this fight much easier, unlike in the future chapters where you're going to be fighting them with way less room, and right now it's relatively simple, because you stay back, poke it a bit, and there you go. So, anyway, that's it for this, and I'll see you guys next time. So, take care, everybody.